Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Monday, June 3rd, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour. I just wanted to start with this because this was on AMC last night and I happened to have it on for at least part of it. But it just reminded me of so much when it came out in 2000. I was not awake. I did not know what the government was doing. I didn't know about all the secret plots and all the conspiracies. But watching it now, realizing some of the things that have gone on and are going on, even pertaining to, this is about PG&E and toxic waste that got into the water table and a lot of people got sick. Just the fact that PG&E, how they try to cover things up and hide things, and that, we know that smart meters are harmful, and it's not likely at all that PG&E will be admitting that. And you can just see that history. You can also see how just really ordinary people can band together and affect change. So in this story, I'm sure you've seen it, you have this lady who was kind of the figurehead, but a lot of people who were sick who agreed to risk putting themselves out there, telling their stories. And you also had a whistleblower, this guy who came to Erin kind of late in the game, and he had some documents from PG&E that he was supposed to shred, and they were very damning documents. So there was a convergence here, and the people experienced a victory. Not a complete victory, because PG&E's still around and still doing nasty things to people. And I do just want to consider that when companies decide if they're going to do something that they know is going to harm people, they estimate how much their cost is going to be, what they're going to have to pay out, and then they make a determination of, actually they price whatever it is, especially drug companies do this, price the drug based on how many lawsuits they estimate they'll have and what the lawsuits will cost them. So, small victories, though. I mean, we have to keep pushing against this aspect of the system. Even if the republic gets restored, the corporations aren't going away immediately. So we're going to have a long-term battle, I think, with some of these corporations, that Monsanto and some of the others that are very harmful. Maybe the oil companies, but hopefully we'll get rid of them quickly with the new tack. Trumped up charges and thinly veiled threats against World Bank whistleblower Karen Hudes. Yeah, there is a cost to being a whistleblower, but it's worth paying it. And sometimes you can find safe ways of doing it. You can go public, like she's been on Coast to Coast and Alex Jones, and do things in a very public way, so at least they can't kill you. And keep your nose clean so that they don't have anything real on you. Rand Paul pushes for legalization of industrialized hemp in new farm bill. For the most part this morning, I have articles that I found encouraging, and I wasn't looking for this. I didn't specifically want to make an encouraging video this morning. It's simply, these things are out there. This is the cream that kind of rose to the top as far as news from the last couple of days. So this is great. In an actual farm bill, the legalization of industrialized hemp. This could revolutionize agriculture and could really help in restoring our country, that people here can buy this, use this, building materials clothing, all kinds of beneficial products come out of this crop. So hopefully this will, revive our economy to some extent. I found this to be good news. ICLEI attendees dismayed over growing grassroots opposition to Green Agenda. Conservatives and Tea Party activists frustrating UN Agenda 21. And the article states that when they have their meetings now, there are a lot of people who show up and object to what they're doing. Property rights activists are successfully hampering ICLEI's UN Agenda 21 program for local government, and as CFACT staff has learned, these challenges have them worried. So, great, right? And if you are in a community that is in the process of having these series of meetings, maybe you can find out when the meetings are and go and participate, be a part of that victory. Now, this is not, strictly speaking, good news. In fact, maybe specifically speaking, it's, is bad news. I don't know. But we need to know these things. Gordon Duff exposed, Nazi connection, and that's a question. And as I have stated at other times, I don't have strong opinions about all these people. You all know the players, but I have decided to name a few of the well-known intel agents and groups for a memory refresher. Poofness, Casper, John McAfee, Tom Hennigan, Gordon Duff, Saoirse Fall, Benjamin Fulford, Sheldon Needle, Billy Woodard, Neil Keenan, OPPT, Tolek, Drake, Tenath, Cobra, Project Camelot, Alfred Weber, Stephen Greer, White Hats, Worldwide Lightworkers, Alex Jones. They all have pointed fingers at each other at some point, but who do you trust? Who do they speak for? What is their agenda? I think for this we really can only only listen to our own hearts. And of course, we have our own, even though we're not specifically aligned with cabal established groups, although we may be if we're in certain churches, but speaking more generally here, we're not intentionally, and I'm not using the royal we, I'm saying you and I, all of us, anyone who's listening to this video, most of us are not intentionally aligned with any faction of the New World Order. But we all see things from our own point of view, and it's virtually impossible not to do that. It's virtually impossible to be completely objective. But I think the safest way is to just go by our gut and what feels right. You probably have noticed, or maybe not, I haven't really posted that much from Veterans Today, which is Gordon Duff. I have posted a few things, I think, but a lot of his stuff seems really over the top I'll say anti-Zionist. Don't promote Zionists. I think that the whole idea of fighting for Israel has caused a lot of bloodshed and heartbreak, and I don't want to be a party to that. But Gordon Duff he's a little too strong, a little too harsh. So I've kind of avoided a lot of his articles just for that reason. But he reportedly now is aligned with the Adamus group. And this article alleges that he himself wrote that he is a member of the Adamus group. And the Adamus group, aka German Nazi paperclip. Now, see, that is actually the kind of language that is the reason why I avoid a lot of Veterans Today stuff. But supposedly, and I don't want to be too heavy-handed about this, I'm just putting it out there. Some of you may not know, but Gordon Duff has admitted to putting out false information on purpose. And here's a quote from him. Now, he may have been just stating, look, it's impossible for me to know precisely everything, what is true, what is not true. And I would say the same thing. But evidently, this is going a little further, and he is intentionally, knowingly aligned. And, you know, I can't say that I would be terribly surprised to absolutely know that as a fact. So just a little caution, and, you know, a little caution with all these guys, a little caution when you listen to me, because I'm trying my best to not go through my filter, but, you know, it's inevitable. We all see things and speak through our filter. So I could tell you which of these people I particularly like and don't like. You probably already know if you've listened to very many of these videos. Moving on, Ted Cruz abolished the IRS and moved to a flat tax system. And this discussion is being held in the mainstream media. So I do believe that we are moving in that direction, and I am delighted. And in case you didn't know, the Federal Reserve, the IRS is a part of the Federal Reserve. It's basically the collection agency for the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve had a 99-year charter that began in 1913. So effectively, this, you know, we're done with the Federal Reserve according to law. How to hide your digital communications from Big Brother. We all want to know this, right? I mean, this pertains to all of us, because none of us wants all of our private information out there. Our opinions, I don't want to be read. I don't want somebody to be able to establish a matrix and determine, you know, probability matrix and determine what I'm likely to do in my life. Who wants that? We all want to just live as free and independent people. How 3 fateful actions helped lead to the failure of today's mainstream medicine. And those 3 things are: treating the body as a collection of parts instead of treating and nurturing the whole body; treating illness by managing symptoms with unnatural drug compounds; and ignoring and suppressing safer and more effective natural health and healing. As a result, millions of lives have been lost and many millions more have suffered needlessly. So as we see this, as people become aware of this, it's a bad paradigm. It's ineffective. It doesn't do what it claims to want to do, which is bring healing and health. How do we bring healing and health? Here's one of the natural compounds. Turmeric, a fierce superfood spice that melts away body fat and defeats insulin resistance. So it is a beautiful color, and it has an interesting flavor. I often add it to rice and some other dishes, but you know, it's you need larger amounts, and you can actually, you know, you can actually take turmeric supplements. I take one supplement that has turmeric in the formula, but this article makes me feel that I should ingest more turmeric. Cancer is cured safely in spite of widespread suppression by the cancer industry. These cures are out there. We can find them. There are videos on YouTube. Here are some suggestions. And, you know, I would say one of the most effective ways to battle cancer is, of course, you know, you need to fortify that with you need to fortify what I'm going to say with some practical efforts. But if we can just banish the fear, it's really the fear that has people locked in. It's the fear that drives people on all those walks for the cure that never materializes through that venue, there's no need to fear it, because it can be cured. And in knowing that, that removes a huge part of the negative impact that the disease has, because when you're in fear, you have that vibration, and that low vibration, which is not good for your health. So I hope that you have been encouraged today, as I was, by these articles. The Tour of the Day is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions. And we thank you for joining us today, and hope that you have found something good to take away. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.